Welcome back, everybody. We are back with Ken, who is dressing up our linens using all natural dyes, and he's monogramming them afterwards. This is so fabulous. His tea towels, these are beautiful, Ken.
Yeah, so I love napkins, I love tea towels, and especially come like this entertaining season, it's always nice to have like beautiful tea towels in the kitchen and bathroom, nice napkins. And at home, we always use fabric. People think that like, we're fancy, but ultimately it's a lot cheaper and better for the environment than buying paper napkins and all this. So you invest in a bunch of them and then you have them forever. And
that is so true.
And if you buy the white ones, you can get them very inexpensively, and then you dye them to match whatever you want.
Ken, you are so smart.
I'm so frugal.
So clever. No, but it's really clever. I love it. So what materials do we need? We need tea towels.
Right, so you need your tea towels, your napkins, and then you can really use, this is a great use for vegetables that are going bad. I've used beets, I've used onions, I've used blackberries. Whatever food you have that has intense color can work. So let's start off by making the actual dye.
Okay, we have to make the dye.
So we're going to start off with beets here. So I'm going to put you to work here and just take the beet fruit and, you know, have it, quarter it.
So get rid of these guys.
Exactly. And you want things that are going to have a lot of color. So
look at that.
Yeah, look at that beautiful, beautiful color. The great thing about these natural dyes is that they're completely non-toxic. They don't stain, so you don't have to be as careful, you know, when doing it. And they give a really sort of soft, earthy color, which I love. So, you know, you're doing the beets. How many beets
will we need, you think?
I used about 4 or 5, really depends upon how much dye you want to make or the intense color. So you really can play around with it. For onions, I use the onion skin, I use coffee grounds, I use blackberries. This is great when your fruit's about to go bad, make dye out of it. And I actually use turmeric as well. So
turmeric makes a beautiful
dye. So what you want to do is get those, you're good with this.
I've been in the kitchen when
about to say, you're a professional.
Okay.
Now once you do that, what you're going to do is cover that with about twice as much water as you have whatever you
look at it already.
Right, the colors, if you can see that,
it's already turning pink.
It's already turning pink. And what you're going to do is put that on the stove and simmer it. I love saying
simmer down.
Low and slow.
Low and slow. You like that?
Low and slow. Low and slow.
So you're going to simmer it down
for about an hour. Simmer down for about an hour, and that's going to really get all of the color out. So
now, if you simmer for longer, will more of the color come out, or is an hour pretty much going to be done?
You're going to get your max out of that, so you can kind of stop, and then you're going to start to lose a lot of water.
All right.
This is what it's going to look like after. Can you see that there? Wow. Look at that dark, dark color.
So now is it time to?
Well, you need to strain it. So you need to get in your hand. If you want to do the pleasures here.
All right.
And you just want to catch all of your solids. For beets and the onions, really just a plain sieve. For things like the turmeric, sometimes you need to use a paper filter because you want to get out the kind of
like a
junk,
cheesecloth even.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there you go. Now you just want to let that cool down to room temperature.
And now we dye?
And before you dye, you want to prep your linens.
Okay.
You want to wash them first because often they'll come with sizing and stuff that will inhibit the fiber from collecting it. And then you want to simmer them with, if you're doing a vegetable, you want to use a 1/4 cup salt to 4 cups of water, or a cup of vinegar for 4 cups of water if you're doing for vegetables, and the salt for fruit. Because what that will do is really let it hold on to the color. So if you prep your linens that way, it's going to be a much more stable and intense.
So you prep the linen, you don't put the salt in the actual dye, you put it in the linen with water.
The chemical ones you do, but with these, do that. This is all treated now, and then you're just going to dip it right down in there. And look, in 2 seconds, it's all ready. Look at that.
Now, if you leave it in longer, will it saturate more?
Yeah, so I let mine stay in for about 4 or 5 hours, but the longer you leave it in, the darker it's going to get. So you can really judge it. So these are the onions.
The onion one.
When you're doing the onion, do just the onion peel. So find your really peely onions, use that. This is the beet one that's been in there for a while. It's gotten darker and darker.
So the longer you leave it, the darker it's going to get.
This is that old pot of coffee you have. This you don't have to simmer. Just take that pot of coffee and that lovely, that antique. This is the turmeric.
Turmeric makes such beautiful
colors. Look at that color. And for this, I used about half a jar of spice, and I was able to get like half a dozen
it's
tea
like
towels
marigold.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's so beautiful.
And then this is the blackberries, which I think is just such a lovely, lovely color.
Now, after it dries, is it going to fade? Is it going to look a little bit lighter?
So what you'll do is you'll take it out, you'll run it under running until the water runs clear, and it will lighten. So you want to get it darker than you want your finished product to be. And then once it dries, as you can see here, the color stabilizes and gets a little bit lighter.
That's the turmeric,
That's the turmeric.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the coffee. This is the blackberry dried. This is the onion skin, which I think is just lovely salmon
love
color.
that.
And this is the beets, which is absolutely adorable, with a little monogram.
I see the monograms here, so that's how you finish it off, the finishing touch. How do we monogram?
All it is, you buy these little ones, you get these at any craft fabric store, and it is a iron-on monogram. The interesting thing about it is that you can actually, let me find it.
You can dye those too.
You can put those in your dye as well. So this one I have sitting in the coffee to get it that sort of nice. So you can do the contrast, but I love doing like the tone on tone, and then you just iron that right on.
I've never loved you more,
inexpensive and so like
amazing.
It makes I'm pulling a Debbie. I got total goose pimples.
No, he's giving himself
linens.
Now, so do I. Now, to wash these, it's not going to fade.
The first time you wash them in cold water separately. After that, throw them in with everything else.
I love you.
Boom, done.
I love you. For full instructions on this project, all you have to do is go to hallmarkchannel.com.